Well, welcome everyone. Welcome to the July issue of the County Country Advisory Committee. As normal, we'll start off with our flag salute, and we'll have some announcements. Then we're going to have a presentation from Jonathan Ahmadi, who is going to talk about Congressman Katie Hill and what she's doing for the Santa Clarita Valley. Then we're going to get a special presentation about the Newhall Crossing project from Jeffrey Paul. And an update, we're going to also have an update for the Henry Mayo free educational classes that are being offered to our community. Then it's going to be an interesting discussion about how the state, in conjunction with the city, is planning greater density and less parking and worsening traffic for our city. And this happens to revolve around, just so that you get a little preview of what's going on, it revolves around the accessory housing dwelling units and the garage conversions and so on and so forth that are being used for that purpose. Lastly, and I put this last because I wanted to give the city all the time in the world to get here, has to do with a challenge that I instituted at 2 council meetings ago and then repeated at the last council meeting. And, every year we go through and we look at the budgets and we look at the information that they produce. And you take the numbers and you add them together and you say, hey, is this what this thing really costs? And they go, oh, no, you're wrong. So I said, well, why don't you, if you're the council, you're sitting up there, all 5 of you must know everything about this because you definitely are approving all these things. So how about you come down and explain to us how the city's budgeting process is shown in the paperwork that you put out for the yearly budget. So I did that, but I don't know if you could believe it or not, but I haven't got one phone call yet. So we'll explain that a little bit more, and I'm going to offer the challenge again. Then our version of public participation, which is the first 5 people that have something to say for a minute. Next meeting preview, and we'll adjourn promptly at 9 o'clock. Every month I go through and I look for a new hometown hero or somebody that did something extraordinary. And this gentleman who lives in a country that doesn't have all the economic advantages of the United States, by himself, when he was very young, from reading books in the library, built and fabricated a windmill to power water pumps in his area. And then as he's grown up, he's gaining some other projects that are equally as amazing. To show you that no matter where you live and no matter who's around, there are heroes all around us, and it just might be someone that you'd least expect come up with something phenomenal that gives your community something to really talk about. So with that, Judy, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. For some announcements this month, we're just continuing on. I'm blanking out things that have already occurred for the Hart Recreation Events calendar at Hart Park. I'm sending it out in PDF format to everybody so they can read it because this is an eye chart the way it is. But we'll just continue following what they have to do. Again, Hart Park, and all of the activities that they had. Now, the city of Santa Clarita, at the same time, this is their schedule of Thursdays at Newhall, and you'll see that as a PDF file when we send out the video links as well. But something new is the Wildfire Town Hall, and it's going to be at the center, or the activity center, on this next Monday, July 22nd from 6 to 8 p.m. And Scott Wilk, Assemblyman Lackey, and Catherine Barger are holding it to discuss how you can keep your home safe in a wildfire situation. And so it should be an interesting meeting. And there is an email address there if you want to RSVP, or you can do so at 286-1471. Also, And this is interesting because it directly relates to the conversation we're going to have later about accessory dwelling units. And there's a meeting scheduled on October the 1st at 6 p.m. At the activity center as well, or the center, what they're calling it now, where they want to discuss what benefits you could have if in fact you have an apartment or a room that you would want to rent in Santa Clarita, specifically revolving around homelessness. So there's going to be people from PATH there. I don't know if Katie is going to be there, she's going to send somebody, but PATH is going to be there along with some of our elected officials and Catherine Barger, and we'll see Bridge to Home is a part of this, and it's an informational meeting. I just found out about this yesterday. At Hart Park on Saturday on August the 10th at 6 p.m. is their yearly Silence Under the Stars. Silence Under the Stars is a fundraiser. Tickets are $50. They're going to show a 100-year-old movie that Mr. Hart was in. And it was interesting because in order to get the film themselves, they're having to go to the National Archives because it's not something that you see show up in every Blockbuster video store, if there still are any Blockbuster video stores. There aren't any. Okay. Also on October the 5th and 6th is the powwow at Hart Park. And this is where we get some native Indian tribes that come and show us some of the stuff. And it's always a nice event to attend. I'm sending this out because it's going to be in PDF. I don't expect you to read this, but you know that you'll get this information. This is the Art Tree Community Center, where they are starting to conduct art classes for all different ages. So if you're interested in it, look for it in the PDF, and it supplies you with the information relative to all those different classes. There's also discussions about the Assistance League. It's on Newhall. It's an organization that does a lot of good for the community, and so this is their Operation School Bell, where they participate in getting, which is it this time, backpacks or whatever it is for the new year. What is it?
New clothes and shoes to students.
School supplies.
School supplies. Okay, cool. But anyway, they are on Main Street, and so you can see this in the PDF as well. Lastly, we had a presentation today at the Old Newhall Association about health services and some of the services that the Sheriff's Department provide and the County of Los Angeles provides. So I thought I'd throw this in too, so that when you see the PDF, you can look at all the different resources that are available and all the different numbers that are possible to call if, in fact, you have one of several different difficulties that you may be able to get help with. So I hope those things are of value to you, and I realize that they're hard to read when they're up on the screen this way, but you'll get a PDF version so that you can see them far more clearly. All right. Do we have anybody that wants to talk tonight? Yes, ma'am. Well, you can come up here. We'll let you. Give her a microphone, please, so that we can record it in great detail.
She didn't sign the paper first.
Well, it's very important.
There's going to be another wildfire town hall on Saturday. Representative Smith is putting it on. It's at Wiley Canyon Elementary School in Newhall in the multipurpose room. And Captain Lewis will be there, as well as our very own fire department people and the representative from the California Department of Insurance. My daughter and I went to the one in Simi Valley. We didn't know there was going to be one out here, and it was extremely informative. We had a meeting last year by the fire department, a presentation, and everything has changed when it comes to wildfire and evacuations, how you leave your home. I highly recommend the one on Saturday. Again, it's from 10 to 12 at Wiley Canyon Elementary School in the multipurpose room, and you will really learn a lot, and you will come home with lots of handouts.
Now, did they have things to upgrade and do to your home for the wildfires? Did they have suggestions of what to do to your home?
Yes. Like I said, it's totally different than it was with the buckwheat fire when I had to evacuate.
Is it not the same one that they gave out this morning? The one you had the fire for?
No.
It's different?
Yes.
No, but I mean, besides evacuating, any modifications they think you should do to your home?
Yes. I go back to the one we had here last summer, and that's where I first tripped to all the stuff that I would do if I had to evacuate now as compared to when I did before.
Okay.
And it just builds on that. And the information you get from the insurance lady is mind-boggling, and she will be at the Canyon Country Advisory Committee meeting in August to give a presentation to us about
well, that's
that.
good. That's really good. You know, some of the things I keep thinking about and don't do, you know, it's one of those deals where, boy, this would be a good idea, but I never seem to get around to it, is, like, for example, I have an attic fan on top of the roof, and the piece that covers the attic fan is plastic. So I thought, you know, if there's a fire going on, or even if it was metal, you know, stuff can get in. Wouldn't that be a great thing to have something you could plunk over the top and prevent? Yes.
One of the things that I thought was interesting is your vents in the garage.
Mm-hmm.
I have 2 of them. It was make sure there's nothing close to it that'll catch on fire, that hopefully if you got some embers coming in, they'll drop on the concrete.
That's true. That's true. The dryer vents. Dryer vents, the attic vents, and now that I'm thinking about all the things I'm not doing, even the air conditioner vents on the top. So, yeah, that's wow. I don't feel safe at all anymore. Okay, that would be great to hear.
Do they discuss anything like sometimes it's not, you may have done everything, but I call them our matchsticks. My neighbor has the cypress trees, never been trimmed or anything. Those would catch on fire, and my house would be gone.
Yes.
It's like, yeah.
Certain kinds of trees, bushes, yes.
What can you do when it's not your house, and do they discuss any of that? The Ventura County Fire Department did at the city council.
Yes. What you need to do is, wherever you live, go to your fire station that would respond to you, ask them to come and take a look at the neighborhood, which is what I'm going to do. We talked about this last year when our fire department was here. And they'll take a look, and if it's citable, they'll ask them to clean it up.
Mm-hmm.
You can feel bad about it, or...
Okay, so there you go. And if you live close to an area that is an access for the county or so forth, and there's lots of brush there, the county is responsible to keep it well, and you might consider some rainbirds to throw water out there in the case of an emergency. But okay, anybody else? No. All right. Well, at the next meeting. I see I don't have certain things on here. We'll have the discussion of wildfires and how to help your house out. Maybe we'll convince our board president to give us a report on the Burmite cleanup. We might also talk about the Dockweiler extension and some of the things that's going on with it. But Jeff Albert will be here, and he provides free senior housing referrals to seniors, and so he'll be here for a presentation as well. So thank you all for choosing to attend the Canyon Country Advisory Committee again this month, and I hope to see you again in August.